this point in time, it seemed that the series was on a roll. The Living Daylights, License to Kill, GoldenEye, and Tomorrow Never Dies, all great. Well, the series was bound to slip up, especially since it's easier for studios to throw money at a movie than to come up with great plots. The World Is Not Enough started this decline with a film that starts off as great, falters, and then ends up disappointing in the end. It's hard to describe, but if there's one word to describe this movie, it's bland. It's not a terrible movie, nowhere near as bad as The Man with the Golden Gun. But after 4 amazing films, and 3 good ones before those, it certainly hits hard. The film continues along the same tack as previous 2 Pierce Brosnan films. Robbie Coltrane even reprises his role as Valentin Zukovsky from GoldenEye. The Bond girls have also become formulaic at this time, with 2 in each film, and the first one introduced being the one to get killed. I mean, look at the first Bond girls. In the last 2 films, Xenia Onatopp and Paris Carver, they both wind up dead. So when Electra King, played by Sophie Marceau, shows up, you kind of know she's going to wind up dead. Then the second Bond girl is always the tougher, smarter one that Bond winds up with. In GoldenEye, it was Natalia, and in Tomorrow Never Dies, it was Wai Lin. This film trades as smart and tough for, well, Denise Richards as Dr. Christmas Jones. She may possibly be the worst Bond girl ever. From the very moment she shows up, she grates on your nerves, and I kept wondering whether her eyebrows would devour Bond. Also, it's difficult to talk about this film without talking about M and Q. M is one of the best things in the movie. She has a much bigger role than ever, and figures prominently in the plot. Q is old. Really old. So old that they introduced an assistant, which Bond jokingly refers to as R, played by John Cleese. To say this man is irritating is an understatement. Q introduces him as his assistant, who will replace him after he retires, and Bond hopes Q doesn't retire anytime soon. It's clear that Eon introduced John Cleese to be the new Q, in case Desmond Llewellyn retired or died due to his advanced age. Personally, I doubt he was going to retire anytime soon, and hell, he had gray hair and From Russia with Love. He seemed to be immortal. Unfortunately, Llewellyn died in a car crash shortly after the movie was released, and this is the last film he appeared in. Anyway, about the plot. The movie starts with Bond getting some money back for M's friend Sir Robert King, played by David Calder. Bond retrieves the money, but it's rigged to explode, and King is killed. And in chasing down the assassin, Bond injures his shoulder and is taken off of active duty, though he gets medical clearance by boning his doctor. M feels personally responsible for her friend's death, believing that a terrorist named Renard is responsible. He once had kidnapped King's daughter Electra, and M advised King not to pay the ransom and instead sent 009 to kill Renard. Renard got a bullet in the head, though he survived, just without a sense of touch, which, according to the movie, makes him tougher and able to push himself further, as he can't feel pain or fatigue. Now, I've had to suspend my disbelief a lot watching this series, but I can't suspend it so far as to think that a man with no sense of touch is being dangerous. You ever have a foot fall asleep on you? You ever try to walk like that? Now imagine it was your entire body. Yeah. Anyway, M thinks that Renard is targeting the King family again, although what really happened is Electra got the Stockholm Syndrome and fell in love with Renard. She hated her father for not paying the ransom to save her, and M for advising him to do this. In a plot perhaps based on the novel Colonel's Son, the first and last Bond novel to be written by Kingsley Amis, and the first one to be written by someone other than Ian Fleming, M is captured and Bond has to rescue her. Some people also note that the novel The Man from Barbarossa is an influence, with its setting in Baku. Well, anyway, Bond is supposed to watch after Electra, and of course he porks her, not knowing she's playing for the other side. He also meets and teams up with Christmas Jones. The less said about her, the better. Eventually, of course, Bond rescues M, kills Electra, and Renard gets one of the most boring Bond villain deaths in the series. The movie starts off pretty entertaining, but the entire thing just feels formulaic and boring. And after 4 amazing films, it's a big letdown. There are some good scenes, such as the boat chase near the beginning of the film, and Renard has a pretty good introduction in an area of the desert called the Devil's Breath. And I did enjoy the media role that Judi Dench had as M. But overall, The World Is Not Enough is just, well, not enough. I give it a 4 out of a possible 10.